On Saturdays, I wanted to do something that I've been planning to do for a while, but a practice run. And I couldn't make it this Saturday, but like I said, we're getting back into it. So you're getting the Saturday post on Monday. I'm still doing all right. You know, not great, that's for sure. As my spouse's grandpa would say, not running any marathons, are you talking to me like I'm an old person? Very weird, very perceptive, very, very sweet man. Anyways, so spoiler alert, I would recommend reading if you are interested in such things. Reading, because it's a novel, it's short, it's very easy. Miss Daisy, and also watching the Godard film, The Little Soldier, because big spoiler that has to be said for this video to make any sense. And like I said, this is just a test run because I do want to do artistic videos in the sense that I often will connect certain things. And this is not such a profound video, like I said, just a test run. It's just something that entered my head that I could do quickly. So, again, if you want to watch this, you really have to commit to reading the novella and watching the film. One moment. Yeah, I knew I got the title wrong. That's why I stopped the video. I apologize. I'm really struggling with this benzo withdrawal, not to mention all this information. My brain is very cloudy, but like I said, that's why I'm doing test runs. I'm doing what I'm doing. I know I'm gonna get it much better, but the novel is Daisy Miller by Henry James. Okay, and yeah, so The Little Soldier by Godard, one of my favorite films for reasons I'll get into. So, in The Little Soldier, the most important thing to grasp from this, I hate to say underrated, but it's just baffling to me that it was considered basically a huge sophomore slump from Breathless, because I consider it among my favorite movies. It didn't quite hit like that at first, but I still loved it immediately. And then as it just went on, it was kind of The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance type of experience, and that it was it had literary elements that really grew in my mind. And when something grows in your mind, you just that is quality. That the more it grows, the more you remember it, the better you rate it, and such and such. Until eventually I found that I related to it so much, it's up there with some of my favorite films. And so why is it? Well, it's a perfect representation not only of the beauty of film, classic Godard, with Anna Karina, amazing performance. Too short, but she makes the most of it, and her natural. I don't know if I'm making this up, but basically she was herself. She wasn't quite a actor in the traditional sense. It was really just pushed to be her, and she was something else. She is such an amalgam of a certain feminine energy that I think anyone that is interactive with younger girls in their youth and such can relate to. She's just truly amazing. Perhaps the only woman in film I can think of that I have a bit of a crush on, I suppose. And crush is a terrible word. I wouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. A respect for her. Like I think of her as one of the top feminine influences in film. And I find myself actually watching her interviews. Like I'm not typically such a fan of actors and actresses, but I'll get to why it's connected to like Daisy Miller, because the ending is pretty much exactly the same, but they have an extremely different tone. Basically, the little soldier is set in the Algerian War, very dark. He's tortured, and the most profound thing is he accepts the torture with perfect stoicism. This young man, and he's basically nihilistic. So he's like a character straight out of again, this is such a landmark piece of art for me, so I always mention it. The novel Demons, which goes by a few names in English, by Dostoevsky. He's definitely a character straight out of that, where it really makes you think, where a nihilist could accept torture when he could have, if he had just submitted, then it would have stopped, but he didn't. And it relates a lot to the old me, where it seemed like respect. So when your heart is very cold, respect seems like the only thing that truly matters, and being masculine and really at the top of the heap for masculinity, you had to be the leader of your friend group and such and such, and if the way you interact with women, you act like you are superior, and if they give you shit, you you double it, and it was quite easy for me, I must say. Um, Despite my own shortcomings, I still, but that's how I was. Could I have endured torture uh, in a different era when I would have been tougher? I mean, I've somewhat endured torture quite well at a similar young age, and I was also very nihilistic, right? And I also, despite nihilism, didn't go into the darker recesses, really. Anyway, so I relate to the character a lot, and I just think it's just sick. It's like a sort of a Dean profound moment when he's just accepting it, and the whole tone of the movie is just done so perfectly. Like, it is such a dark, nihilistic film that is done very quickly, and then we have in literature again, just making sure. Daisy Miller. See, my mind is like filled with mud. Short novella, and it's very joyous tone, and we have this American folk, and a different time period, and basically it's a underplayed romance, and it's just again, the woman in it is just she transcends generations, and that you can again feel that feminine energy, and just she feels very real, just as the character in Godard's film felt so real and alive and vibrant. And they have the exact same fate, despite the tone being completely different. Just shockingly, really, in both cases. At the end of the film, she quickly dies, and the man moves on, and it's pretty much the exact same thing in the work of literature. And it's done so well each time that it doesn't feel cheap, the ending, which could very easily be so in less talented hands. And I just thought it was very interesting that you have this old work of literature and then this new film, very different settings, very different, etc. And felt a very similar feeling at the ending. And see, that's all I have to say. Like I said, it's just a test run. I just found that they quite interesting when things connect in any way. You see, some people may find it annoying because as you go delve into profound works of art, you see the same thing repeated over and over. Like, for instance, I just watched Fritz Lang's God dang it, can I remember one name? Was it Scarlet Street? Is that the name of the film? Close enough. And um, you know, again, Dostoevsky did this best in Crime and Punishment, perhaps, but it's the same type of thing. He did a murder, and the woman very much deserved it, and he's haunted by it. And unfortunately, he doesn't stick the ending, in my opinion. He could have just done it through more subdued imagery. Instead, it was over the top. But still, again, it's just like these. The point is, these motifs repeat themselves over and over, and instead of finding that annoying, I find that very satisfying because it provides the groundwork to work from, because these are brilliant minds coming to the same conclusion over and over again. And then you experience in real life, and you realize that it's rooted in reality. What did I say in my last video? People are not rooted in reality, and that's the problem. And like I said, I'm a very liberal thinker. I'm very much not rooted in reality. Half the time, I look like a retard because I'm just in my own head, and I'm not. I'm like 10% there doing something, messing up, because I'm dreaming. I'm thinking. I do it too much, but I would never get rid of that. It's a bit of it's more positive than negative, I think. Though there's certain cases where I do it too much. But yeah. So you just see these con motifs over and over and over, and it's just you learn how to live your life based on it. That's a liberal arts education, which you can very easily get yourself. But it is very, very interesting when you can feel the exact same tone and feeling conveyed. And this may be something that a lot of people, uh, can't necessarily grasp the connections, which is why I want to make these videos, because I think I do have a skill. Like, for instance, when I watched 400 Blows by Truffaut, also a French director, the ending instantly gave me the same tone. I don't know if that's the right word again, but as the ending of one of my favorite books of all time, Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man by Joyce. And then I swear I was, just going through articles, whatever, and the critics said the exact same thing. So it's like, what are the chances of us both coming to that same conclusion? It's such a huge jump. Like, it's not like the ending was the same or anything, it just had the same tone. And these two connections I mentioned are much more blatant, of course, but what I'm trying to illustrate is it seems like I have somewhat of a superpower of making connections, and I want to share that and see if people are interested, So this is just a test for that. But God does a hit. It's just it's one thing for a man to die, but a vibrant woman, there's something truly that truly hits you when a truly feminine woman see, and it's just such a fast death, and it's just like bam, bam, they're here. This just they're so vibrant. They fill you with energy as a man. They just and these pictures of these amalgams of all these girls that you remember, that we all experience, and it's just like that dead, and it's just like it hits you, and it's like they each get the tone perfectly right, and it's not mawkish and such and such, or puerile, uh, puerile. I don't know how to pronounce words. Words I just make up as I go along. But man, uh, if you're interested reading that and watching that film, I'd be interested to see how you feel, with that similarity. So this is a Saturday video, on Monday, and nothing really changed with my health. So just gonna continue onwards and see how it goes. Thank you for watching. Peace.